Hey guys, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. If you like the series so far, leave a like and subscribe to see more. We have, I think we've closed the rift. If not, it was pretty close. It may just be receded. But we were called by Cassandra to, what is going on? Are you saluting? You're saluting me. Okay. We were called or summoned by Cassandra to go to the Chantry. What? Herald?
That's him. He stopped the breach from getting any bigger.
I heard he was supposed to close it entirely.
Wait, so it
Still,
didn't?
it's more than anyone else has done.
There it
Demons
is.
would have had us otherwise.
Huh. Okay, so we didn't get
Still a lot of
smashed by
rifts
those
left all over.
huge
Little cracks in
pieces
the
of mountain.
sky.
He can seal those, though. The Herald of Andraste.
Is that what I'm
Someone
called
better.
now?
You won't seal those rifts with the chant of light.
Walk safely, Herald
Ooh.
of Andraste.
Burn. Ooh, a letter. The Singing Maiden. Okay. Have you ever heard the story of King Bedwyr? Bedwyr, like most kings, was a man of great pride who expected nothing but complete loyalty from his subjects. He believed the best way to achieve this was through fear. After all, those who feared him would never cross him or question his rule. Most importantly, those who feared him would always seek to please him. Not the best strategy. Bedwyr cultivated terror in his subordinates through the gleeful and unrestrained use of the contraption referred to as the Maiden. Like the Iron Maiden? The Maiden was a hinged iron casket, as high and wide and deep as a man with vicious spikes within, meant to pierce through the poor soul who locked into it. Bedwyer's Maiden was a prized possession and stood in place of honor in his throne room, often with a screaming victim inside it. Political rivals, suspected assassins, treasonous ministers, the Maiden consumed them all. But as time passed, more people were given to the Maiden for increasingly trivial offenses. The cook for oversalting the king's food, the page boy for dropping his sword. The Maiden cast a pall over the kingdom, and its people prayed for deliverance from the cruel king. Then one day a strange woman, I'm going to assume the assassin, rode into the city. She called herself Ember and was an emissary from a far-off land. Her leaders had heard, she said, that of Bedwyr's wisdom and authority, and she sought the king's counsel. The thought that he had earned the adulation of brother kings across the sea made Bedwyr swell with pride, and he granted Ember an audience. They dined and danced, and through it all, Ember flattered and fawned on the king. At the end of the night, Ember asked to see the Maiden, the infamous device that had given Bedwyr all his power. The king, giddy with praise, proudly presented Ember with the empty contraption. Ember looked at the Maiden, sighed with disappointment, and said, "That doesn't look terrifying at all. I should have imagined the spikes to be much sharper." Bedwyr grew red at her comment and replied, "The spikes are sharp enough. Look at the blood that still clings to them." "But it's so small," said Ember. "Are only children and women its victims?" Bedwyr grew redder still and replied, "Of course not. The Maiden has devoured many men." Ember shook her head and said to the king, "I do not believe it. Surely no warrior could fear this king. A man like yourself, tall and muscled, would not fit within." The king laughed and saw a way to prove the merit of the Maiden to Ember. "I will show you how easily a man like myself could fit," he said, and with that, this guy's an idiot. And with that, he stepped into the device, but Ember was waiting, and no sooner had Bedwyr squeezed himself into the iron casket than Ember slammed it shut on him. Ember took the maiden with the screaming Bedouin inside through the castle and down into the city. And the people, finally free from the king's tyranny, cheered and danced to the singing that echoed through the streets until Bedwyr was dead and it finally stopped. Tale of an Idiot King. A tale often told in the Singing Maiden Tavern. I'll have to check that place out.
Why did Lady Cassandra have him in chains? I thought Seekers knew everything.
It's complicated. We were all frightened after the explosion at the Conclave.
It isn't complicated. Andraste herself blessed him.
Blessings upon you, Herald of Andraste.
For those of you who haven't played Dragon Age before, Andraste is a prophet that went to war against slavery and tyranny of the government at the time. The Dalish elves, or the elves that were roaming the lands, joined in to free the elves that were, or the Dalish elves and the elves that were in the cities joined together with Andraste to free the elves of that time, because the elves were primarily slaves, the ones that were in the city. The ones that weren't were the Dalish elves, and they usually stayed in forests and whatnot. So Andraste is that prophet leader. A chant for the departed. I'm not really interested in chants. The Fade. Ooh, that's a lot about the Fade. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind, for as long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart. Okay, for those of you who also don't know, the Fade is like a spirit realm. That's where demons stay. That's kind of the best explanation of it that I can give, or as simple of one as I can give. Okay. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade. An ultimately futile endeavor, although portions of it belong to powerful spirits. All of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. Okay. Was it V? I'm gonna have to change that. Okay. Nug skin. For crafting, okay. So crafting is a thing in the single player as well. Alright. Sure.
Have you gone completely mad? He should be taken to Valroyo immediately, to be tried by whomever becomes divine.
I do not believe he is guilty.
The elf failed, Seeker. The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, he intended it this way.
I do not believe that.
That is not for you to decide. Your duty is to serve the Chantry.
My duty is to serve the principles on which the Chantry was founded, Chancellor, as is yours.
I'm on the side of Cassandra. I'm really not liking this Chantry guy.
Chain him! I want him prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
Yeah.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
Huh.
I did everything I could to close the breach. It almost killed me.
Slightly
Yet
improves.
you
Okay.
live. A convenient result insofar as you're concerned.
Have a care, Chancellor.
Yeah.
The breach is not the only threat we face.
Someone was behind the explosion at
Hey,
the conclave.
Liliana.
Someone most holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or
You look
have allies who
Quite
yet
different from Origins.
I am a suspect,
live. You, and many others.
Oh.
but not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to him for help.
So his survival, that thing on his hand, all a coincidence.
Providence. The Maker sent him to us in our darkest hour.
I don't really want to go the tough or angry route. Question, you know?
You really think your maker would send someone like me?
Slightly approves
The
again.
Maker does as he wills. It is not for me to say.
Even if that means a Dalish elf is his chosen.
Humans are not the only people with an interest in the fate of the world.
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor. A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act. As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach. We will find
This
those
is just like the
responsible, and we
origin-
will restore order with or
We're
without
very similar
your
to the
approval.
origin story of rebuilding the Grey Wardens. Except the only difference is now it's
This
the Inquisition.
is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice.
We don't need a
must
Chantry
act
Henry.
now,
We don't
with
need
you
that
at our side.
bureaucratic jerk. Yeah,
If you're truly trying to restore order,
That is the plan.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
I'm in. She's pretty awesome. I didn't really like her at first, but she is pretty awesome. I guess she's got a couple of servants there with her. Guards or something. Knights. So what allies do we have to be sending messages to? A castle, that's a good sign. Another castle? Huh. Huh. He's gonna be one of the main bad guys. In fact, probably the old Chantry, if they're full of people like that. What am I wearing now? What? Am I in chains again? What's going on? Is that the Inquisition flag? You gonna bring me up there in chains to close that thing? Dragon Age Inquisition. Where'd they shove me? Off to the side. Report to Haven's Chantry. Isn't that here? We've got a marker. Haven's best and brightest. Yeah, alright, let's check that out. Oh, straight this way, I guess. Okay.
Do you think the mages will be able to seal the breach? When will you be able to get us crafting supplies we need?
Instead.
When they're ready. Oh. Piss off. I suppose that would work as well.
Also, why am I not wearing the armor that I got? Oh, actually, flanking damage. Might as well wear it, since I have it. Yeah, that's what I want. Wear that.
If you're here to clean, Hess can get you a bucket and a broom. Anyone calls you knife here, come to me. Oh, you're him. Thren. Inquisition quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
Okay.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site. Maybe Harriet can get our troops better weapons.
Okay.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or jot down what you found.
Alright.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Inquisition weapons. So we just need iron and a logging site.
You find anything we
Okay.
need, let me know.
Alright, I guess...
So we're heretics, just like that. Should we surrender or... Don't be foolish. We are the Chantry. As much as any...
Alright, there's another... Good lord, there are a lot of side things to do. Alright, I'll do those off camera and we'll finish up with whatever happens here. Pop in. Wow.
Does it trouble you?
The curse mark?
Not really.
What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Clearly you have something in mind.
We do. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Ah, okay.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
Anderan Atishan.
You speak Elven.
You just heard the entirety of it, I'm afraid.
And of course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
Okay.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Was?
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
Then we're going for the mages. Yeah, that was quick.
That didn't take long.
Shouldn't they be busy arguing over who's going to become divine?
Some are calling you, a Dalish elf, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
Priest. Approaching mages, that's the most currently out of the question. Why not the mages?
They aren't more concerned about the breach, the real threat.
They do know it's a threat. They just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse.
There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Why would someone from the Chantry help a declared heretic?
I understand she's a reasonable sort. Perhaps she does not agree with her sisters. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options.
Okay.
I won't leave this all to the Herald.
Alright, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, and these videos will come out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Subscribe if you want to see more, and again, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
What's going on here?
Wow, that's loud.
We have an intruder. Slay the elf.
What? No! Do not touch any military debris. It may explode and kill you.